Hey guys, welcome back. This is a story about what if Deku trained more part 4. I just want to thank you guys for 21 subs. Now can you please help me get to 50 subs and also hit the like button. Now enjoy. We continue with the Chaco saying we all worked our butts off to get here. Fair? Natural disasters, highway pull-ups, rampaging villains, nothing is fair in this world, Aizawa said, pointing out fact and the truth. The class fell silent in response. It doesn't help either that villains are trying to find new ways to overcome heroes, Izuku said. I've been hearing rumors on the internet about a quirk-enhancing drug that can boost the effect of one's quirk when applied, Aizawa nodded. I've heard rumors about that as well, and you're correct. Villains always try to find ways to overcome heroes. It won't help that when you all go pro you all will have your quirks revealed to the world, so villains will already know what you can do. So heroes themselves always have to overcome villains even if the villains have the perfect counters to one hero's quirk, Aizawa nodded at Izuku. After seeing the footage from the entrance exam, I could say that while you're a liability, you're also very intelligent, you'd have potential in multiple fields outside of being a hero, but that's off topic. Time for the tests. Izuku was ready for the test, and was also very faintly blushing from Aizawa's praise, or analysis. And so the test began. Izuku stood in the middle of the field and was preparing to throw the ball. He still wasn't sure what he would be able to do with one for all or if he could go 100%, even with all of his training and ki, which made him stronger for what 21 and 16 said. Izuku exhaled before channeling 5% of one for all and adding a bit of ki to the flow of his quirk so he could probably send it farther. Aizawa noticed the aura and stopped himself from using his quirk on Izuku. He was gonna use his quirk not wanting the kid to have to be the reason they stopped the tests, but he stopped himself. He was impressed by the aura. And so was the students, though Bakugo was in denial. How the hell did Deku get a quirk, he asked himself mentally. He's supposed to be quirkless. Izuku finally threw the ball before making a ball of green ki appear in his hand. He threw it at the ball and it sent the ball farther into the sky and away from them as he yelled, Oregon Blast. After it seemed like the ball of ki was gone, it exploded and the ball went flying away from them at an even faster rate. Aizawa was honestly surprised as he expected Izuku to probably break his arm. He checked the tracker and was surprised. How'd I do? Izuku asked Aizawa. Aizawa showed them the score 5.62 kilometers. Izuku's jaw dropped. Did he actually do that? Even Bakugo was in denial. There was no way that Deku could have done that. The other students thought they couldn't beat that. Even a girl with black hair in her ponytail didn't think she could send the ball that far. Bakugo looked at Izuku, and didn't see Izuku. He saw an imposter and a monster. Bakugo then launched himself at Izuku. Deku, Bakugo yelled. Aizawa was about to throw his capture tape, but Izuku teleported in front of Bakugo and grabbed his neck and slammed him into the ground. Though it looked like Izuku didn't want to hurt his childhood friend. Just stop, Izuku said to Bakugo. This is supposed to be a test to keep us in UA, you're gonna get yourself expelled if you keep doing things and acting like this. Izuku stood up and walked back to the rest of the class as Bakugo stared into the sky in shock and in some pain, but not enough to send him to Recovery Girl's office or stop him from participating in the remaining tests. Aizawa raised an eyebrow. Did Bakugo always act like this? Or was he reminded of something? Aizawa shrugged. Get back to the rest of the class, Bakugo, and don't try to attack another student or Midoriya again, Aizawa told Bakugo. The explosion quirk student eventually got up the ground and looked at Izuku. All the class was thinking the same thing. How is he this strong, they all thought. Only a few had saw him when he destroyed the zero-pointer, those being Ida, Uraraka, and a blonde boy who wore a special belt around his waist that spoke in a French accent and said some French words a few times, and even they were surprised at the power Izuku showed. The others were wondering how they could surpass that display of power, and didn't know what Izuku's limits could be. Bakugo was in denial though, since after knowing Izuku most of his life, he knew Izuku was quirkless and even saw the X-rays. He was trying to figure out a logical conclusion of how this was happening, and he knew that after the pressure he felt on his neck, that this was not a dream. There was only one score that beat Izuku's. Infinity, the class yelled out in surprise as they saw Eureka's score, which was the infinity sign. Unsurprisingly, yeah, Aizawa stated. Her quirk is zero gravity, so it's no doubt that it would go on forever once she threw it. Something would have to interfere with the ball for it to come back, and it would have to be another object. So her score, infinity, Eureka came back to the class and stood next to Izuku and Ida sheepishly. Well, that was cool, she said, trying to start conversation. Yeah, I didn't expect the infinity sign to pop up, Ida said while doing his robotic hand movements. All things considered, you have a powerful quirk, Izuku said. There are lots of possibilities of things you can do with a quirk like yours. Achako rubbed the back of her head. Thanks, she said while blushing at the praise. Izuku smiled as they prepared for the next tests. Congratulations, the tests are over, you can rest easy, sort of, Aizawa said. The scores have been tallied, and you can view them. The class looked at the scores and Izuku and Bakugo couldn't believe who first place was first. Izuku Midoriya second, Momoe Aoiorozu third, Shoto Todoroki fourth, Katsuki Bakugo the dean in 20th place. A short kid with purple balls on his head shook in fear. Oh no, Hesade. Minoru Mineta, Aizawa said. You are expelled from UA High. Get your stuff and go. If you hurry you might be able to make it into another school's hero course. Class dismissed, Aizawa then left them all alone to observe the scores of each other, while their ex-classmate walked away, mumbling something that for some reason made all the girls in UA, minus the teachers, shiver. Izuku looked at Mineta as he sulked away. I get the odd feeling that we were spared from some sort of torture or whatever thanks to Aizawa-sensei, Achako nodded. Whatever he said made me shiver, and it wasn't a, I'm cold, shiver but a, creepy as hell shiver, language, Ida said. Izuku chuckled. I'm surprised that I'm first place though. I didn't expect to be up there, he was telling the honest truth. Sure, he could muster up to 10% of one for all now, and sure, he could channel his ki and could inflict some damage on 16 though 16 is like a punching bag. Izuku didn't expect to make it to first place. Maybe 9th or 10th at most, but first blew it out of the water. Well you did place first on most of the tests, Achako said, referring to the ball throw where she placed first, and also the timed 50-meter dash where Ida placed first, but only because Bakugo had hit him with an explosion though it was meant to just boost him forward. Why yeah, maybe I underestimated myself. I got caught up trying to figure out which per-hero Aizawa-sensei was, Izuku admitted. Ida and Achako were a bit shocked at that. The reason you got first on those exams, besides the baseball one, was because you trying to figure out which per-hero Aizawa-sensei was, Achako questioned, while getting a nod from Izuku. That's some cool, and terrifying. I honestly wonder what would happen if you used your quirk. Like in the entrance exam without the whole bone-breaking thing happening, I'm not sure, Izuku said while he thought, I'd probably be able to defeat All Might in his prime at 100% if I could use one for all at 100% and not break any bones. Well, we best get changed and continue with the rest of our classes. We only don't have hero basic training today, but we still have the rest of our classes today, Ida recommended. Oh crap, you're right, Izuku exclaimed. We should get changed. In an abandoned warehouse, a gasp for air could be heard from a man in a suit who didn't have eyes or a nose or hair as he woke up in a chair that was meant to help keep him medicated so he could live. A doctor entered his room. Another nightmare, boss, the man sighed. No, but I'm getting a feeling something's going to happen soon, and I'm not talking about Tamura's attack on UA soon. Does it concern All Might? The doctor asked. No, but I feel like it concerns someone I know. He wasn't sure why though. Well, shall we continue with the surgeries? The doctor asked. Yes. If I wish to regain my prime, you may continue, the man said as he prepared for an third day of surgeries. The doctor nodded. Very well. He then went to prepare the operating table as the man looked at the wall as he pondered on something. It felt like Gwen. No, it couldn't involve him. It's probably nothing, the man said before he stood up to get his operations done. As Izuku left UA after packing his bags as it was already the end of the day, he felt a shiver as he felt like someone who was really important mentioned him without saying his name. What was hey Deku? Achako said as she ran up to Izuku. Deku, Izuku questioned before realizing he never told him her name, and for what happened early with Bakugo yelling his nickname, she must have thought that his name was Deku. Sorry, that's not my name. And I'm also sorry for not telling my name. Earlier you're Erika, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Then why does that one guy call you Deku? Achako asked Izuku. Well, it's because for most of my life, I've been quirkless before I manifested my quirk a day before the entrance exam, Izuku said. It's meant to call me useless, since I wasn't able to fight back before. Oh, Achako said. Well, I just thought that it seems like it says, you can do it, she then smiled and Izuku blushed at it. Then you can call me that if you want, Izuku said as he tried to recompose himself and get the blushing to go away. Okay then, she said as they walked out of UA as Ida came up to them. You both are going to the station as well? Ida asked. Yep, Izuku and Achako responded at the same time. Ida smiled as he started to walk beside them. Mind if I tag along? Sure. The more the merrier as they always say, Achako said. Izuku smiled himself. It was already day 1 at UA and he already made 2 new friends. He was glad he made them, and hoped that their friendships might be able to last. Oh, how he would learn how valuable yet fragile they will be. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.